What are these groups of people called that you joined? Like I've heard terms for like homeless people as like traveling kids, which is a nicer way to put it than homeless. But like what would you call this group?
We call it digital nomads. So you can find digital nomad groups all over the world. Google it. You can find a way to meet up with other people who have remote jobs and
So if I see someone that says digital nomad in their LinkedIn profile, like I can make some guesses about what happened in their past.
Yeah, something happened.
That made them want to do it. Because there's a distinction. There's the kids who go do a gap year after high school.
Yeah.
And I just talked to someone last week who like can't wait to graduate. He's doing a gap year. He's going to go to Bali for a year. And then he's going to come back and figure out if he goes to college, if he starts a business from there. That's on one side. The other side is these are digital nomads who have jobs.
Yeah.
Who are just doing that while they're traveling. But it's like you're almost running from something and trying to find something new.
See, people say running from something, and I always felt like it was running towards something, not away from. So I was running towards a better future for myself. And that's
Did you always have that perspective, or did that shift as you were part of this group? Because at some point as you're leaving Idaho, it must have felt like you were running from something.
Yeah, I guess so. I think that the perspective shifted within probably weeks of just my life being exponentially better than it ever had been.
Yeah. And that was because of the travel, the job, the community that you built of that?
Yep. All of it. Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. Why do you think that this community of digital nomads 5 years later turns into $1 million business owners and successful people who are driven and competent and handling more than the average person?
You know, it's not to sound like corny, but when you travel, it really does open you up to new things. It opens your worldview and you're meeting people you never would have met before. I met so many business owners while traveling of different types of businesses and they're all so encouraging of you starting your own business. And if you're in your hometown hanging out with the same 6 to 10 people you've been hanging out with for years doing the same thing, you're not opening up your worldview. And that's what happened to us is we met so many people around the world who were doing incredible things. And for every single one of us, we're like, we can do that.
And they're all doing that remotely. Like these are businesses that are not
and they're
like
all
local
traveling
to
and
where you
having
are.
fun. And like you can do both. You can have both. And that's where I really, really learned work-life balance is at the time I was in sales, but I would take sales calls from like a dirty bathroom on an island in the middle of Asia, and I would close a deal and then go take shots at the bar.
What are you selling at the time?
At the time, it was cloud technology.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hold my beer. I'm gonna go sell some cloud technology.
I would
real quick.
rip a couple shots and then go on a sales call, like in a bathroom.
Did you find that was helpful?
I actually did. I was like, maybe drinking is good for salespeople because it really loosened me up. Yeah, it was like where you were able to do both. You were able to have fun, but also make money.
Did your customers have any idea where you were calling them from?
No idea, because I was using an Idaho number. So it would come from an Idaho number. Nobody had any idea that for me it was 1 a.m.
Yeah, like I think I hear a bar in the background. It's like 9 a.m. over here. Where are you at right now? I just ripped a few shots. No big deal. That's crazy. Okay, I got to ask this question. Top 3 places that you ever traveled to?
Okay, Bali obviously is number one.
Okay.
I mean, that is like second to none. I mean, that's where I ended up going after my year of travel with the group. I lived there 7 months after that because I was just like blown away by it. Absolutely amazing. And then I would say Croatia, just for its beauty. That was like, it was like living in a castle. It was absolutely amazing. And then city. So we'll go with a city for this one, Singapore. Cleanest city, safest city, transportation, second to none. Like everybody is nice. I mean, it's just such a high functioning society. You feel like you're in the Avatar because it's so clean and beautiful, but everybody's so high functioning. No, there was no homeless. Like it didn't look like there was poverty there. It was
That's crazy.
Insane.
I've heard that about Singapore too. Even as a kid, I remember people talking about how you get fined for like spitting your gum out.
Yeah, but gum is illegal.
It's illegal.
Yeah,
That's
no,
what
it's contraband.
Yeah.
So yeah, no gum.
That's insane. And these experiences you're having, okay, break it down for someone like me who has never left North America before. What are the big things I'm missing out on by not having traveled the way that you did?
I think it's just, as I mentioned, opens up your worldview. You're meeting so many different people. So I was speaking with like locals. It wasn't like I was only hanging out with the people from my group. Like I made friends with a lot of people from different countries. Like I legitimately was like so naive to leave the country thinking that every country that I went to, that they wanted to be Americans. And then I go to third world countries in Asia, and I'm speaking to locals there, and I say, "Hey, have you ever wanted to go to the US?" They're like, "No. I live in Bali. Why would I want to go to the US?" And all of a sudden I realize, like, we have this perception that everybody wants to be American and come to America, and then you leave America and realize people are just living their lives the same way we are here. They're enjoying it. They're people who have much less than we do here. They don't have the luxuries that we have, but they were much happier than people in Bali who born and raised in Indonesia were the happiest people I'd met in my life. And they grew up with so little, and they were so grateful and so happy. And they never had it on their mind that they would like need to leave because they were so happy with where they were.
What did that do for your perspective? 26, 27, 28 years old, coming from America, bachelor's, master's degree behind you, to see people living like that and content.
Yeah. It made me appreciate so much more, and I definitely became less of a diva, I would say. So a good example is right before going on this 2-year trip, I went to Catalina Island with my best friend Jessie, and we saw a cockroach in our hotel room, and I lost it. Yeah. I got our whole 7-day stay comped. I got us upgraded to a better suite. I was like, I can't have this. A cockroach in my room? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Fast forward to a year later, I find a cockroach quite frequently in my rooms in Asia. I find one, I'll go out and I would, step out into the desk, and it'd be like, there's a cockroach in my room. You don't have to kill him, just like swipe him up. And, was just like chill about it. I was like, yeah. And, they'd go in, I'd see him about to stomp. I'm like, no, don't kill it. Just put it outside.
Yeah.
And so I went from like, I'm going to complain to the manager because this isn't up to my taste, to like, it's a cockroach. Like,
yeah,
it's all good. Like, just wipe it away. So yeah, I think it just made me appreciate so much more what I have now. And I try not to lose sight of that, because I will see myself starting to lose sight of that as I get, especially having lived in California for 5 years after coming back from traveling for 2 years. The influence of Californians and everything needing to be perfect and just so, and how they want it and how they paid for it.
Yeah.
I try to remember, like, we have things so amazing here that other people from other like countries can't even comprehend, and they're much happier than us. So it's like, it's not like, don't sweat the little things, basically.
Yeah. Does that translate to you order your steak medium rare and it comes out well done, and you just say, well, I'm just happy to have steak?
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, unless it's inedible. And then I'm like, okay, if I can't eat this, but yeah.
You need someone like me there who's happy to send a steak back at Applebee's if it doesn't come out the way I wanted it to. Like, I don't care where I'm at. If I said medium rare, it needs to be medium rare. So you attribute a part of why your life has gone the way it has to these travels that you did.